Thursday evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to NBA Trade Deadline Recap with Nikki Stees. Please do me a favor, those of you coming in, make sure to leave a comment in the chat and let me know what your thoughts are on the different trades that are going to be discussed throughout this video. So let's get into it. So if I'm looking for a word to recap this trade deadline for the NBA, all I can say is darn! Because there was a lot going on today. I mean, every which way I looked, there was something different. I mean, there were so many different moves going on. And we know the trade deadline's an active time, but it's like there was not enough storage space on my phone and not enough battery to do short after short after short after short, giving you my overview on the trades. Because there is a lot going on, folks. So, how I'm going to do this is real simple. I'm going to give an overview of the trades. And I'm going to share the screen with you guys so you guys can see what trades were actually made. And then at the end, I'm going to give you my winners and losers / trade impact predictions. So that's what's in store for this one. So give me 1 second. I'm going to share my other tab on Chrome. Let's take a look right here. Let's take a look right here what we got. We got a comment right here with Jay. Jay, good evening. What is up? So let's go through it. So take a look right here. There you see the picture of Kevin Durant. So let's start. I already discussed this a little bit in the short, but here we go. We had Kyrie Irving to the Mavericks. So in this trade, you see the Mavericks got Kyrie and Markieff Morris. The Nets got Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, 2027 second round pick, 2029 first rounds are unprotected, and a second rounder that year. So the Nets are obviously trying to build up for the future here, and they still get Spencer Dinwiddie and Dorian Finney-Smith. So still not a terrible deal there for them. For the Mavs, they hoping that Kyrie is the answer to help out Luka. And they're hoping Markieff Morris will be a valuable piece too, but we'll have to ultimately see how that happens or not. So now we get another one. So with the Kings and the Nets were active during this one. So the Nets, it was Kessler Edwards went to the Kings, and the Nets got David Minchinou. So the Nets just getting a piece. Kings are just getting Kessler Edwards in cash, but the Kings are in pretty decent position right there. So this is just another piece for them. So this one right here between the Heat and Spurs. Spurs get Dwayne Dedmon and a 2028 second round pick. The Miami Heat get cash as they get to clear up some cap room. So there isn't really anything much to this trade. Just clear up some cap space. And the Spurs, well, as far as this year goes, what are you going to really get out of them this year? So they're kind of they're playing for the future. And then the big trade that went through last night, the Russell Westbrook, D'Angelo Russell, Mike Conley, 3-team trade. Right there. So you got a 3-team trade for the Jazz in this one. They got Russ. They got Russell Westbrook. Hold on a second. Let me check. I gotta check something real quick. Okay, so All right, so I'm trying to figure this out right here. All right, so the screen share is not working, so I'm going to try to figure it out for a second right there. All right, it's not working right there, so you know what I'm doing? I'm just going to read it off the screen. I'm going to read to you guys what's going on. So let's get back to it. So forget the sharing. I'm just going to read it off my screen. Okay, so you got Russell. So the three-team trade. It was the Utah Jazz got Russell Westbrook, who they could waive, Damian Jones, Juan Tanasso Anderson, and then the Lakers get the Lakers 2027 first round pick. Now the Timberwolves got Mike Conley Jr., Nickeil Alexander Walker, next year's second round pick, 2025 second round pick, and a 2026 second round pick. And the Lakers got out of this D'Angelo Russell, Jared Vanderbilt, Malik Beasley. So that's a big one right there. The Lakers get some more youth on their team to help out a little bit. And they trade away Westbrook, who really wasn't helping them much. So that's an interesting one right there. We'll have to see how that youth does now under the Lakers. So that's going to be interesting for them right there. And the Jazz, they got a little bit of draft compensation. They got Russ. They're hoping, I don't know if they're going to try to work with Russ or not. That's going to be an interesting question. Are they going to try to play with him, or are they just going to try to ship him off to waivers and let somebody pick him up? But that's we'll have to see there. And then we have the Trailblazers. The Knicks were involved in the trade. So you got Knicks receiving Josh Hart. The Blazers are getting Cam Reddish, CV Mikihowak, who was then also traded away in a three-team trade after that, and Ryan Arsenando. Let me tell you, Ryan Arcidiacono. Diacono. Okay, Ryan Arcidiacono and a 2023 first-round pick, lottery protected. So that's part of that right there. So we saw that Cam Reddish was on the trading block for a while with the Knicks. The Knicks didn't really want anything to do with. You could tell they were thinking about moving on from him. It had been talked about. Now it's finally happening. And the Knicks are getting Josh Hart as a substitute right there. I know Jalen Brunson was looking forward to it, so should be good for locker room morale. But we'll ultimately see what it does to truly help the team going forward. And then we get the Raptors and Spurs were involved in the trade. The Raptors get Jakob Politi, and the Spurs get Cam Birch, next year's first round pick, and 2 second round picks. Not much of a big trade, but then here was a blockbuster trade that happened at the wee hours in the morning. So you had the Phoenix Suns got TJ Warren and Kevin Durant from the Brooklyn Nets. And the Nets, in return, got Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder, 4 unprotected first-round picks this year, 2025, 2027, and 2029, and a pick swap in 2028. Lots of pick trading going on in this one. But yeah, that was the big trade right there. Suns are clearly trying to reopen their window to compete for a championship. They're focused more on the short term, while the Nets are clearly focusing on the long term in this one. Focusing on the future, but we'll have to ultimately see how this plays out. And then you got a trade between the Lakers and Nuggets. The Nuggets got Thomas Bryant. Lakers get Davion Reed and 3 second-round picks. More picks, folks. More picks. Okay, so and then you had the Celtics and Thunder. Thunder got Justin Jackson, 2 second-round picks. So let's get Mike Muscala. Not really much of a big trade there. And then here's another trade that happened today as well. So Jay Crowder got the news he was being traded to the Nets, only for then him to turn around and get traded to the Bucks. And the Nets get 2 second-round picks. Oh, wait, and there's a third team in this trade. The Pacers are getting George Hill, Serge Ibaka, Jordan Nwora, and 3 second-round picks. That's a 3-team swap right there. So for the Pacers, they get a little more depth to help them out. Some veteran pieces in Hill and Ibaka. So those are some pieces that can first the veterans, guys that can work with their younger core, and those extra picks come in handy for the future. So the Pacers are obviously focusing more on the future there with that one. Bucks are trying to add some pieces to make another championship run in the Nets. They're just getting picks for the future, so they have them. And then you have a 3-way trade right here involving my team, the 76ers. And here's how it went down. You had the Sixers traded away Matisse Thybulle to the Portland Trailblazers. And the third team involved in this was the Hornets. Sixers get Jalen McDaniels from the Hornets, who is a similar type of player to Matisse Thybulle, but he gets more playing minutes with the Hornets. Does a little bit more offensively. Well, the Hornets get Sivi, who was from the Knicks trade with Josh Hart. So the Blazers only picked him up to ship him to the Hornets, and the Hornets got a couple second-round picks. So the Hornets get a downgrade in the short term. Typical Michael Jordan move, but what else can you say? It's Michael Jordan trying to run an NBA team. Not the same as Michael Jordan, the player. But moving right along, another trade, a 4-way trade. The Portland Trailblazers were at it again. 5 second-round picks. More picks, more picks, more picks. They're just playing hot potato with the picks. Like hot potato stock trading here. The Warriors get Gary Payton II back, which I understand he was a contributor to the run next year. Probably should have just re-signed him anyway. But then the Pistons get James Wiseman. So they get another young piece. Maybe Wiseman in a new system, if he can actually bother to stay healthy, might do something. And the Hawks get Sadiq Bey. They get another younger piece. Sadiq Bey, I feel, is an underrated talent. So, okay. I get that. Maybe he feels like he'll have more time to shine. And you feel like Ibaka should be bought out. Or say will be, but maybe he could be bought out. We'll have to see. Because Ibaka, he's a veteran. Unless they're actually going to use him to work with some of the younger players, or they might buy him out. We'll see. But we got another trade. So the Clippers. This is one of their forgettable trades. They get Bones Hayland from the Nuggets. Nuggets get 2 second-round picks. The second-round pick hot potato continues. Now, and it continues with the next trade. The Rockets get 2 second-round picks from the Hawks. Justin Holiday, Frank Kaminsky. The Hawks get Garrison Matthews, Bruno Fernando. Here we go. So here's an interesting one. The Lakers acquired Mo Bamba from the Magic. Magic get Patrick Beverley. Interesting swap. Interesting for the Lakers there. Give the Lakers, I guess I can see the Lakers, they're feeling that pressure to try to do something while LeBron's still there. So they're trying to get younger while they still have the chance to. So I get what they're going for right there. And the Hornets again. The Hornets again screwing it up. They got rid of Mason Plumlee. Mason Plumlee's going to the Clippers, and the Hornets are getting Reggie Jackson. At this point, the Hornets, and if you can go to the Hornets and play decent, really, you're just on the shipping ground for another team is what it feels like at this point. Hey, Chad, what is up? Thanks for dropping by. Yeah, I mean, I'm starting to see that trend. If you go to the Hornets and play halfway decent, it's just a dumping ground. Makes you wonder how much longer LaMelo is going to be with the Hornets for. But oh man, and speaking of the Clippers, here is a comedic trade. I feel so. The Clippers get Eric Gordon, 3 second-round picks from the Rockets. Oh, here we go. And the Rockets get Danny Green. So much for Danny Green to the Grizzlies. Oh, here's the funny one. John Wall back to the Rockets again. So much for John Wall with the Clippers. He got shipped back to the Rockets. What was even the point? And then a first round swap with the Clippers, and the Grizzlies are getting Luke Kennard. But the Grizzlies don't really need much at this point, so. But moving on. So the Spurs getting Devontae Graham, 4 second-round picks. And the Pelicans got Josh Richardson in that trade. So we have the Suns back again. Darius Baisley, the Thunder get Dario Saric. And you want to guess what else is in that package? A second-round pick. So those were the trades that occurred within this week. Wow, talk about a handful to talk about right there. Whew. Wow. All right. Yep. Spoiler alert to my next part. Yes, you are correct. I agree with you on that one. The Nets certainly won today. So, on that subject, well, I'm going to have one sip of water. Now, this brings me to the next part of this one right here. Winners and losers. So we're going to discuss some of the winners and losers right here from these trades. So, and I also put, as you see on the screen, if you're seeing the screen, winners and losers / trade impact predictions. And the reason I put that on there, for the banner is because we still don't really actually know for sure what's going to happen. I mean, so far, these are still predictions until it actually plays out. So that's why I'll call it projected winners and losers, if you will, for this trade deadline. So let's start with the winners. And since I already started with it a moment ago, replying to Chad's comment, the Brooklyn Nets are an obvious winner. Now, on paper, getting rid of Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, on paper, looks like a bad move. However, when you look at what they got in return for it, this worked out excellent for them. And it's great for them because they got some depth for the future. And they also, with Kyrie and KD, you know there was drama. It had been brewing for a while with both guys wanting out. Because you got Kevin Durant, despite his talent, he's got the spine of a snake. And he just doesn't have the heart to step up and play when it matters most. Hey, awesomeness, what's up? But yeah, Kevin Durant, you knew he wanted out because he's always got to be second guy on the team. He had his chance to prove that he could lead a team, but he tried to weasel his way out of there. And now he got his wish. He's going to the Suns, where he gets to go behind CP3, who ironically, there was an original offer with Kyrie and CP3, but the Nets rejected it. And then you have, right, so you have that, and he's going to be there with Devin Booker. And those guys right there, DeAndre. But he's going to be there with some of those guys right there. But yeah, what a day for the Nets. I mean, what a trade period for that. They get Spencer Dinwiddie. And who else did they get? Let's see. Who else did they got on this one? They got some future picks, obviously, which could help them in the long haul. And of course, I mean, just this is clearly good for them right there. Even though it may not work out so great in the short term, think about all that in the long term again. They also get Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson. That can be helpful too. Now, I don't know if that's going to be enough during this season, but in the long term, hey, you got all those extra picks, man. Use it to your advantage if you're the Nets. It's a great opportunity for them to rebuild right here. So I think that's going to work out in their favor right there for the Nets. So I think they're a definite winner in this one. Another team that's a winner in this one, I feel, hey, the Los Angeles Lakers. I mean, for the Lakers, obviously, they've been struggling since that championship win. They barely made the playoffs the following season. Last year, they completely missed. You knew that relying on a bunch of veterans wasn't going to cut it anymore. So you needed to bring in some younger guys and some guys that could play their role well instead of just trying to rely on a bunch of veterans that still want to be alphas. And the Lakers recognized that, and they were busy. They were busy making moves. They shipped off Russell Westbrook. You knew it wasn't working out. You saw signs last year it wasn't going to work out with Russ. And now he is gone. The Lakers got that problem off their back. Now you realize he wasn't worth it in the first place. You also got rid of Patrick Beverly, but now you got D'Angelo Russell, who's still young, mind you, still in his 20s. You got Jared Vanderbilt and Malik Beasley. I mean, that's an upgrade right there. You got some more youth on the team. And these guys aren't superstars, but you already got your superstar there. You don't need more superstars to try to build a super team because that super team formula wasn't working for the Lakers, and they recognize it. Now they're realizing they have to stick to a more traditional team approach. You have one or two stars, and you also need some good players / role players that are there that are good, but they don't need to be superstars because you have too many stars in the locker room. It can cause an ego situation. And they realize that. So it's good to get guys like Russell, Vanderbilt, Malik Beasley, Mo Bamba. I mean, obviously, Bamba's going to be in a better situation with better talent around him than he was with the Magic. So that'll be good for him. He'll be good as a role player there. So that's good right there. And I feel in this one, so that's the Lakers right there are a winner in this one. I feel like the Trailblazers get a little bit of a win out of this one. They get somewhat of an upgrade. They get some picks. They also get Matisse Thybulle, so they get an upgrade help on defense right there. They also get Cam Reddish too, which is a help up there. And like I said, some future picks. So there's some potential for Portland Trailblazers to get back into the mix in the future. So they could be a potential winner in this one too. So I see them as potential winners. I think the Warriors are winners in this one. They get rid of James Wiseman, who wasn't panning out, and they get Gary Payton II back, who they should have just brought him back in the first place. Because Gary Payton II was a contributing role player for that team last year, and it's good you have him back. So I think that was a good one right there. So I see the Warriors as a potential winner for this one. I mean, the Hawks, I'm kind of in the middle because you had the chance to move on from John Collins, but you didn't. I mean, they got Sadiq Bey, who's a good young talent. I feels underrated, so I feel that helps them out right there. I feel like the Knicks are winners. You finally you move out from the Cam Reddish situation. You finally get to move on from that. So that's good right there for the Knicks. And you get Josh Hart right there. So there's something that's potentially, so that could be good right there. Now I feel like, for the losers of this trade deadline, some of the losers in this one of them to me is the Toronto Raptors, because they were a team expected to make some moves right here to try to build for the future, and they weren't that active in this one. So I give them an L on that one right there for not really making much moves in this one. When people are talking about, hey, the Raptors are going to be active, they're going to be active. You got all these people in the sports media reporting that you're going to be active. You're supposed to actually be active and get stuff done. But you didn't do that. So that's an L right there on the Raptors. Another obvious L is the Minnesota Timberwolves. You lost D'Angelo Russell, and you get Mike Conley Jr., a veteran who you know is near the end of his career. That doesn't do much to help you for the future going forward. So that's a loss right there for them in the 3-team trade. So I got to give them an L right there. So another team that takes an L right here, the Charlotte Hornets. I mean, what do you expect? Hornets are big losers in this, as they always are, usually in off-season and trade deadlines. You know, some of the good players they have is gone. Mason Plumlee, gone. And you got Jalen McDaniels, gone. So there's your L's right there. Hornets are just proving at this point to basically be a dumping ground for other teams. That's really what they are at this point. This is a team that just can't get out of its own way. I mean, they get one good pick in 2020. And they can't do anything to follow it up. Way to let LaMelo down again, Hornets. Way to let him down. So there's some losers right there. I feel like the Suns I was kind of iffy on but you know I think's a loser? The Pelicans. Because they didn't really do anything to upgrade, to get some help around the team when Zion's not there. So that's an L right there for the Pelicans. They didn't do anything significant in this one, so I consider that an L right there. Detroit Pistons losing Sadiq Bey. I mean, yeah, there's not much good. So for those teams, not much good. And I think the final loser in this one, I would say, are the Chicago Bulls. They had a chance to trade Zach LaVine to get out of that contract. They realize he's not worth that type of money. It's a chance for them to move on, retool, find someone who's worth that type of money, worth building around for the future. And they ultimately didn't get the job done. So I consider them losers in this one too. To recap it in hindsight, some of the biggest winners and losers, in my opinion, for this trade deadline were for the winners, you had the Brooklyn Nets, Los Angeles Lakers are the main winners right there. But I also feel like I'm missing some Lakers, and I feel the Blazers are another big winner too. They got some help right there for Dame. So those are some of the winners. Some of the main losers in this one, I feel like, are the Minnesota Timberwolves again, the Hornets, the Raptors, and I'd say the Bulls for not really being able to do anything, and as well as the Pelicans. So those are some of the teams. Oh, yeah, and I feel like the Pacers are a bit of a winner, too, because they got some depth pieces there out of this and some future picks. So those are my winners and losers for this trade deadline right there. You guys can comment, let me know who you think were the winners and losers. Yeah, so really, that's really about it right there for this one. Right there. So this was really just a quick coming on here, recap, and giving my opinion on what I thought of this trade deadline. So after this, I'm going to clip the winners and losers summary into a separate video. So if you guys want to check that out again, you can check it out on my channel. So everyone that tuned in, thanks for tuning in. For those that came into the comments, for Jay, Awesome to Sports, Chad, thanks for coming in and chatting with me. I hope you enjoyed this. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your night. And until next time, Nikki Stees signing off.